And we're live for 5 Minute Friday here on Remembrance Day. It's my pleasure to have with me a friend who many know as an angel investor in the TNT community, but he's also a major in the Canadian Armed Forces, Major Hassan Naqvi. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we thought it was really appropriate to have yourself on to talk with us a little bit about Remembrance Day and thinking about the military. How did you get started with the military, Hassan?
Oh, well, that was a long time ago. So I have actually thought about joining the military since I was a little kid, since I could remember. I had a lot of toys that I guess were sort of military type. I used to love building model airplanes when I was a little kid. Used to watch a lot of shows, and then it was something I went back and forth on quite a once I got into high school quite a bit. But ultimately, after high school, I realized, yeah, this is what I want to do. Met a whole bunch of folks that were in the military. I was in Air Cadets as well when I was younger, and so that was a stepping stone. And realized, yeah, this is definitely what the career that I wanted. And so when I was in first year university, went to a local recruiting office and signed up.
Yeah, and you've been with the military how long now?
So in total service, it's been about 30, going on 31 years. A bulk of that was as a Reg Force member, so basically a full-time military member. And then the last 5-ish years or so, 4-ish years, has been as a reserve member.
Yeah,
so
and you're with the Air Force, is that correct?
That's right. So I'm in there's 3 components of the military. I'm in the Air Force. Some would say that's the best. I would, but there's always a little bit of competition, right, between the other elements. But I'm in the Air Force element. Air Force was the thing that attracted me the most. I love aviation, the engineering behind it, the excitement, all that. So that's the element I ended up joining.
Absolutely, yeah. And now you're spending most of your time doing instruction, I believe.
That's right. I am a flight instructor on the CT 155 Hawk here in Moose Jaw. And I've been doing this since about 2016. So it's been quite a while. And prior to that, I was on the F-18 up in Cold Lake. Been a short time on the F-18, and then prior to that, I was involved with flight tests up in Cold Lake as well. And then part of that, there was a whole bunch of engineering, program management, even a little bit of software development, which is shocking. But yeah, I actually was involved with software development for a little while. So the military offers a lot of options. It's not just one thing that you can do in the military. It's like a whole ecosystem unto itself.
Absolutely, yeah. We here at TNT really enjoy the perspective that you're able to bring to the table as an investor with all that experience from the Air Force and the military. But today we want a little bit more about what we can do to support and remember the sacrifices that have been made throughout history. And so let's just think about what does Remembrance Day mean to you specifically as a major in the Canadian Armed Forces?
Yeah, Remembrance Day, a good question. Remembrance Day obviously is a very big event for those of us in the military. Very somber day, a day that represents has a lot of history and meaning wrapped up into it. Everyone's very familiar with it. I mean, as children, we've all gone through Remembrance Day ceremonies in our elementary schools and high schools. In the military, it's for me personally, it's a time where I think about the millions of Canadians who've served the country over hundreds of years. The last 100 years. Starting from the 2 main wars up and throughout the years up until even recent day. For me, it's a little extra. From a family standpoint, it means a lot because I had, my parents had two older siblings that served in World War II. They were in the Indian Army and Indian Navy, which is still part of the Commonwealth. So there's a connection there from my family. So even going back home to our origins, which is India, we have this connection to Remembrance Day. So Remembrance Day for me, we always generally we'll always get the family together, go down to the local ceremony for Remembrance Day, and sometimes I'll even visit the Legion. So what I would encourage others to do is basically the same thing. Just think of the folks who have served the country, have served it proudly and served it well. And go to your local ceremony, a Remembrance Day ceremony in your area, and if you can, even visit the local Legion, because the veterans are at the Legion. They love to interact with the community, and they would love to have people pop in and say hi.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really important to take that time to hear their stories, and that's how we remember, right? By remembering their stories, and so. Yeah, wanted to thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about your story here today, Major Naqvi. And it's always interesting to say that, because we don't interact with you on that level very often, but I think it's important to remember, like even sometimes when we don't know the history behind somebody, maybe they've experienced being in the military and dealing with the conflicts that's important for them. So just taking that time today on Remembrance Day, I think is really important, and we appreciate you spending the time with us today.
Yeah, it was great to spend this time here today, and you hit the nail on the head there. It's the sharing the stories that really matter, and part of the thing on Remembrance Day is also not just sharing stories, but remembering the stories, like individuals I've served with who unfortunately had to make the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, on operations, or in exercises, or in training, or in test flights even, who've been involved with, who had to at that time make that ultimate pay that ultimate price for the country. So it's sharing their stories and keeping their memories alive. That's really important on Remembrance Day.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah, our thoughts are with you today, as you deal with that, and as your fellow mates there in the Army, in the military, also spend today remembering. So with that, I'll let everybody back with their day, and hopefully you can take some time today to talk with folks in your community about their military history. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much, Jesse, and we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Take care.